Rough. Oh my goodness, my man. Oh man. Put in some clothes, my guy. Wait, are you playing fire? You are Arcane. I was gonna say for a second, I saw Ring of Fire. For some reason, wait, what's happening? Hold on, massive ascendance as Rob just deleting you with the fence while I was trying to deliberate which spec he's even playing. I was gonna say every time I see Ring of Fire, I keep automatically assuming that is an Arcane mage, but no, you with the fence does get himself quite a bit of recovery, but every single cooldown did get burned to make it happen. As my man Rob, my man Seamark, running around with his cheeks out, dude, as an Arcane mage blasting you with the fence away, does knock him back with a quick root, as it's going to be some Ghost Raptors join in. Got himself, Lasso is able to blink out of it immediately. Next time you have a touch of the magic, that's where you probably want to cook up some big damage. He does have a big touch of the magic, missiles for him, you with the fence, trying to see if he can get himself a setup. That's going to be so big Sunder, that gives him an opportunity to at least have a go. Mad missiles either way, does go for the interrupt, actually misses it, more Arcane Blast to follow, still more missiles. Barrage may just end you with the fence. Does he have enough right now? Wait a second, no, not even then. It's just missiles just drilling into the guy. My goodness. Oh, Arcane mages, man, in PvP, they are nutty. It's going to be a Shadow Strike opened by Erebus. Immediate root though, when you don't open up with a cheap shot on a mage, it does give him an opportunity. If the mage is fast enough to react, and if Rob knows he's going up against a rogue, I think he already has like an idea of what he wants to do rotationally into a Cloak of Shadows for Erebus. He's one big immunity versus Roth. With advantage right after, as you get hit with an Arcane Orb, it barely connects as the Cloak of Shadows was about to wane. As Roth, is that all the time? Every time I see the clock icon above mage's heads, I keep thinking all the time. That's all the time that time around. Mad touch to the Magi, even though Erebus is the one getting the opener into Roth, he's just the one getting blasted out. Barrages back to back. What is this? Vanish to follow. If he doesn't get the rogue back out in the open, wait, another Tempest gets him out. Touch of the Magic does connect. Full damage. It's going to be blind right after. Wait, are you still touch another Tempest? Yo, Nether Tempest is strong, dude. What a good dot. Didn't they buff it by like 150% for PvP recently? They really gave it some effort, huh? Gotta be your Chicago up next. Normally, Chicago and Roth in the past have dueled each other, and normally the Arcane Mage have almost always lost to Enhancement Shaman. Nowadays though, Enhancement Shaman is not nearly the same class that can counter Arcane Mages as easily. Ring of Frost right now just gonna drop his pets and just blink right into Chicago, just super aggressive with Trinket to follow off of that Sunder. Touch of the Magic is on Chicago. As long as you get some missiles in there, you'll be fine. The Nether Tempest actually does add quite a bit of that Touch of the Magic damage. Trying to go for a heal, it's gonna be a big blaster. It's gonna go for Touch of the Magic, slam it down Chicago, but just not enough damage. Take him down super low. Gonna be a big old cooldown reduction with shifting power for Roth. Trinket out of Chicago does land the interrupt onto Roth, but now that Chicago does not really have much of an answer. Ring of Fire right after, just trying to see, keep him at bay into Ring of Fire as best as possible with more missiles, just adding on just a mixture of all the Frosty Fire as well as the Arcane, as Roth does have full mastery over every element of the mage class. It's going to be Mad Touch of the Magic yet again. Doesn't have the big go with it, but maybe big touch, big missiles. Kind of rooted in place. That's the only reason why he wasn't over there with Chicago. Burrow to follow, as this is going to be Chicago dodging a lot of this damage, playing the Burrow. Very defensive, but still not a lot of health available. I think a Battle Master Trinket just fell off, interrupting Roth on the Arcane for just a second. Does he have a way to get back in there? Got himself a little bit of defense. And Chicago's looking for a bit of a catch-up and heal. Ring of Fire knows that Chicago's going to be chasing after him. Let him just singe over time. That's going to be a totem down into a blink off of that Lasso. Got himself Arcane Surge built up and ready to go. Knocking Chicago out in the open. Missiles well behind the pillar. Is going to have the ult time put him back out in the open. Trying to see if he can go for blast. Does he get an interrupt? Does not. Oh, does get the interrupt. Oh my god. What is this? That is a lot of damage. Makima next? Is it Makima? No. Makima just trying to... Oh, hey, Erlis, how's it going? That's a nice mog. Still playing Outlaw? I like it. We got up to speed while we're at it. I think he actually doesn't want to fight. I think Makima, you're the last one left. I don't think he even want to fight you. I think he literally just hit slash surrender. He doesn't even want to do it. That or he just did slash coward just for like... But he still wants to play? I'm not even sure. Roth may just end up going against like 4. Cloak of Shadows immediately for Makima, trying to see if he can use that Cloak of Darkness in order to cover his approach versus Roth and get himself quite valuable damage, but that all the time reverses all of it. Mad Touch of the Magic, Ice blocks it just to blast out the Rogue. The Rogue still has a dodge chasing after him. Will not be able to get himself an easy reset with another Tempest. Barrage right after him. First aid. Wait a second, are you gonna reset the first aid? This man's been doing resets of first aid. I don't even know how you do it. Ring of Fire with the Ring of Frost, Arcane Surge. I think you just might be done. Unless you got another Vanish? No, just stops. Just giving up. My goodness. Barrage again. This is one more. Oh my goodness. I am actually so sad the caster meta didn't even give a chance. Missing one over for the team 2, but hopefully they'll get a chance. We got us calling on the team 1 with Aaron is going to be first up. What is this mix and match thing going on? But he's playing that Outlaw, so I guess you are mix and matching even the rogue specs, right? Got us Roth in the back. I do like the Blood Troll set. I think it looks so good. We got Speed with a Pirate Pepe. We got us Torvus joining in. I like the Tabard, actually. Where's this Mog? The Maldraxian set had a bit more tinge of purple in there. But you do kind of make it work. And with the weapon, that does kind of add to it, honestly. Makima going to be first up over for the team 2. On that team, we got ourselves Chicago in the back. We got ourselves Caster Meta as well as Erebus. 5th is missing, but the 4 of them are going to try to see if they can hold the fort as best as possible. I think they're waiting on you with the feds, right? They may even be still loading in, too. Erla's trying to see if he can put himself out in the open, and Makima takes advantage with a quick sap. What is this screen grabs you guys are doing? This is some BM into a Blade Flurry as Erlis does find the rogue since he's literally right next to him. Secret technique in the opener. Get a shot off of that. Try to see if he can maximize the damage. Disarm to Makima could go for disarm of his own. Does come out of stealth. What is something keeps putting you out of stealth every single time though. I'm not really sure what. As Erlis does go for a blind cheap shot with a dance. Trying to see if he can make a bit of a play. It's going to be a trinket out of Makima into an evasion for Erlis. Makima looking to dive back into a reset. Erlis waiting for the eye as soon as possible. Will have a trinket for this next go. Cloaker shot is for Makima. Again, someone keeps putting him into combat, but looks like Erlis either picked up the eye. I think he did pick up the eye to find Makima. He's gonna go for a killing spree off of that kidney shot, trying to make some damage happen. Gonna be Makima with an evasion. Erlis needs to wait it out for a little bit longer. Does have advantage in case he wants to. Just trying to avoid Makima's shadow strikes. Makima knows next stun is going to be a trinket out of Erlis. Got him some pistols to at least keep him at bay. Disarm for disarm. Still has access to pistol shot at the very least, so he can just keep firing away. Got himself a roll of the bones, decent buffs. Have himself advantage right after with a shadow strike, kidney shot. Is this enough right now? Barely has the damage, but I think he might just have just enough. Makima with a cheat death. Oh, with a Blade Flurry at the end. I like that. The Blade Flurry at the end, cleaving the rogue down. This is going to be Shadow Strike out of Erebus. And looks like you with the Fez does come back in. Erlis surviving a secret technique. I don't know how you live it. Gouge, trinket, cheap shot. Does have himself a dance. I don't know if he can turn this around somehow. Maybe another cheap shot. Kidney shot. Does have himself evasion last second. Does get himself a little bit of a reset though. Force an evasion out of Erebus as well. I don't know if he have himself anything right now. Blade Flurry, trying to see if he catches himself a reset. Erebus, I don't believe Erebus has been able to get dots into Erebus, but Erebus does end up using up a lot of his defenses. Evasion as well as the Cloak of Shadows does burn at least one vanish. Versus Error, it doesn't have a trinket either. Erebus kind of find himself super low in health. Blade Flurry, good set of buffs actually. That's a fantastic combo. If you could just stay on Erebus, you'll be in a great spot. Trying to see if he could taunt Erlis out in the open. Does end up going for Shadow Strike, but he kind of wants to make it as fair of a duel. He's like, hey, I just want to kind of run up and just stun you out on left field. Kidney shot was super DR'd. That or just like the no comp points. Kidney shot reversal by Erlis. Wait a second. Slice it right through Erebus. Is this enough cheat death? Does he have it? Oh, Blade Rush at the end is what kills him. Well done. As Erlis does try to make the Outlaw Rogue Warrior. Caster meta is going to be a pretty strong competitor though. Windwalkers versus Outlaw Rogues. I feel like in the past, it was kind of like a back and forth. One is bursty, one is sustained without it being more sustained. And you could actually get yourself a victory. The fact that the monk can get kidney shotted and locked down in the stun does give an Outlaw Rogue a chance here. But you really just want to stay into that melee sustained damage with a monk, but you want to try to find a way to avoid his burst as best as possible. Erlis trying to see if he can avoid caster meta. Needs to be very careful with his trinket. Cloak of Shadows as well as evasion did end up Cloak of Shadows. The disarm to a dragon kick by caster does get hit with a sap, as Erlis is able to get himself another reset into a Shadow Strike opener. Could go for a kidney shot in cap before he gets himself a proper go. Caster just wants to make sure he got himself full reset. Next time is going to be a leg sweep. Kidney shot before he can get a chance for a killing spirit with after, as Erlis trying to see if he can get some damage into caster. Trying to kind of keep him out in the open. If he can go for those pistol shots and just do sustained damage, he'll be in a great spot. Is going to be dragon kick. Does end up canceling it. Cheap shot last second. If you could just keep the guy slow the entire time, and actually if you got acrobatic strikes, keep him out of that melee range, you'll be perfect. But that jab is just always going to let you reconnect. Blind to follow, as Errol is just going to wait out the Zoen a little bit. Use the calm points into the Zoen just to reset some of his own cooldowns as best as possible. Until next setup, he got it with a dance, maybe an ambush setup. Caster charging in, kidney shot, super DR, trinket out of Errol. Does he have an out for this one? I think that is maybe an evasion out of the bogue. No, not an evasion. He just taking all damage full frontal and does go down. No cheat death, I don't think. That is unfortunate. Conan charging out versus Caster is going to be able to Zerker Rage out of that incap, as Caster does get at least one victory under his belt. Walking into Conan with plenty of defenses, though. That is one thing that Outlaw has a hard time doing, just from experience, is unless you get some unless you get sustained damage, it is very difficult to get cooldowns out of the classes like monks. Big karma onto Caster, but Caster meta as Conan unleashes himself, not a full set of bursts, but just the Odin's Fury. As Caster looking to press the advantage right now, he's got himself a big defensive Conan, trying to see if he can play it super safe. He got himself big enrage regen in case he needs to, choosing to use a trinket right here, big enrage right after, gonna be a board out of Caster, but doesn't go behind the pillar, kind of still out next to Conan. Is gonna be able to charge to intercept him right back in, rolls right after, maybe has himself a leap, does have a leap to reconnect yet another board, just trying to see if he can buy himself a little bit of a breather, but not being able to board behind the pillar does give him a little bit of a missed opportunity. Conan trying to see, I think, just trying to mount up at this point to chase after Caster meta, but he needs to establish the sustained damage as a Fury Warrior. He needs to get some pressure onto Caster and then keep that pressure rolling as long as possible, because that's where you're going to get a lot of that advantage. Fist of Fury locking down for just a second, got himself full burst of the ready into a shockwave. Caster meta with the disarm right after. Conan can't really do much about it. Going to be full burst at a Caster meta. If you could disarm one of those Fists of Furies, that actually would end up helping you out a ton. That would deny a lot of the burst, but also the parry. Fear onto the burst, trying to see if he can break right through it with yet another Odin's Fury. It's going to be full Serenity. Lexi to Conan. Does he have an out for this one at all? He needs a heal right now, otherwise he's not going to be able to live this. Touch of death, but Caster meta decided to use the execute ability either way, though. Maybe could have delayed it, maybe could have let the fists and punches do work. In capital speed, this time it's a Subtlety rogue, not an Outlaw. Very much a burst spec that kind of very similar to Caster meta. But Caster meta, I'd say, mad damage to the speed. Look at that burst, by the way. While we're talking about burst, Cloak of Shadows, maybe for speed. That is a full karma. Does he just fight through the karma into Alexium? Trigger to follow a cheap shot right after. DFA, trying to see if he can end it. Mad damage with the mad damage with a DFA into a Vanished Shadow Strike, piercing past the monk. This man just went in all out. Just let his L drop to dangerous and low. Did not even panic. I was the one panicking more than he was. Was it Shadow Step? I was behind the wall. Was that a Shadow Step? I thought it was a Vanished Shadow Strike, actually. That's what I thought that was. I think with the Vanished Shadow Strike, it gives you a little bit more leeway, but maybe I'm wrong. Chicago, as an Elemental Shamansman this time around, got himself the Earth Elemental. Big old spiky shield, ready to go versus speed. Elemental Shamans are actually incredibly good for duels. Getting a shot to follow, speed and no help whatsoever. He has to push in, everything thrown in. Secret technique, big DFA, trying to dodge an ACC, mad damage on the Chicago. Wait a second, we're through wall, can you live it? Oh my god, it was so close. Speed did so much damage. This rogue is just a missile. He was just ready to go. He was locked in. He was like, all right, I have no health. I'm just gonna go in there. My god. Something about watching Airless and Speed play rogues, man, and how aggressive they are. It is a joy to behold, man. My goodness, but Torvus just finishing off the Shaman when he's got nothing left. Speed drained him of every cooldown, slamming it out of the way. You with the Feds drop next, taking a lot of damage. Torvus just taking all the momentum from one Shaman into the next, and you with the Feds needs to react right now. Mad Ascendance, is it going to be enough? Got himself the Guardian. The more damage you do, the more healing you get, but a bubble could just put a hole in your plans. It's going to be a bubble as you try to go for a knockback. Is your defensive going to be enough right now, though? Looks like it barely lets it live. Can it turn this around? Blind by the Paladin, got himself a wall looking for a bit of recovery. Light the lasso, does get a trinket out of it. Anyone could be, oh my god, and you with the Feds does end up getting the kill. I don't even know how. How do you even do that? I am amazed and impressed, and also a little bit confused why there's a health bar on the right hand side of his screen. But Ralph is definitely giving you a chance right now to go for a proper, as close to an honor though as you can. You don't have any walls available, but this is about as close as it can really give you like a proper honorable match. Let you at least recover full health, so you stand some form of a chance. But it is an Arcane Mage though. A master of the Arcane, master of polymorphs, master of the big blast, as Rob just hits you with a full Arcane Surge into Ring of Fire, Barrage, blinking right after you. Not gonna let you hide behind the pillar whatsoever. Missiles, trying to see if you can dodge your interrupts. I don't even know if you can even really get an interrupt. Try to go Bloodlust into a heal just to give yourself more haste, but I think it's over. Touching the magic. Oh my god. Oh, that is so much damage. Caster meta just pick up 2 though. The rogues did do a really good job. I think it was like, was Airless? Did he fight 2 rogues there? I think Airless might have fought 2 rogues, or maybe it was somebody else. I need to double check that one, but that was a hell of a match. Just about everybody gets to play, right?